Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with my Dress Up Darling Season 2 Episode 4 reaction. So the previous episode we continued with the whole section with Himeno. I've forgotten his actual name, or I don't remember what his actual name was. But the guy who was cosplaying as Subaru, I think. He taught us a lot of things and everything, and we also got to see how he we also get to know his story about how he liked cosplaying and dressing up and doing these things, how his family really supported him, but later on he kind of had a bad impression, not impression, sorry, had a bad what's that word, had a bad experience with his girlfriend, or who is now his ex, and how she kind of told him that, oh, you do these type of things, stuff like that. She told him to give up cosplaying, at which he dumped her. And little by little he kind of experiences, and he had the same kind of complex like Gojo, and he also thought the same way that, oh, people are going to judge me. But seeing Gojo and other people openly accept him, and kind of take pictures with him, his cosplay and everything, he realized that not everyone is obviously same, similar to what happened with Gojo and Nonchan, where Nonchan also where Gojo also realized later on that not everyone will judge me because I do makeup for girls and make dresses for them. um so yeah, that's what happened. That was that little part. It was a very wholesome little part. And then obviously the second half of the episode had had Marin celebrate birthday for Shizukutan. And this is where Gojo realizes how, even though from the outside she's this supermodel, she's it seems like she's unapproachable and everything, here, deep down inside, she's just this person who's just freaks out about anime and stuff. And so Gojo realized that yeah, people have different parts to them. So one part might seem unapproachable, which obviously doesn't mean that's the entirety of her personality. Stuff like that he was thinking. So yeah, let's see what happens today. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here. Sync it to whichever is the preference, and let's get started. Right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, why is he running? Oh, oh, the spicy one. There's one spicy one, extra spicy one. Cross-dressing maid cafe. Roller coaster casino. Hmm. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, that's a bit in. Oh. Right. I guess. Hmm. 2 days. Ah. Okay. Special points. So what happens if we win? Will we get something? Yeah, you're a model. Come on. She probably wants to just cosplay. Oh, the whole cross dressing. Ah. Well, she's accustomed to cosplaying, so exactly. Oh, she's gonna. She's like, oh, I can do cosplay here as well. Raise some up. Press host. Nah, student council is. Everyone knows. Okay. Is this supposed to be a reference to Oran High School Host Club? It is, right? Damn. Right. Hmm. Pentosine. What? Okay. A lot of people here are just so confused. They don't know what's going on. A lot of the students here, you can see, they have no idea what's going on. Costume and the other is performance. Well, she can do both. We have Gojo for the costume. Wait, what? Oh, well, it's a beauty pageant, so I guess it makes sense. Good lord. They don't know that he makes the dresses. Okay, well, damn. Mine is like, you know what? Finally, I can cosplay at school. Oh boy. It's kind of funny because I'll talk about this later in the discussion section. But this really reminds me of when I was a kid. We used to have like, in school, like there was like, 1 day in school, like maybe like sports festival or something like that. We had like a day where we were allowed to dress up whatever we, like want. Like obviously not cosplaying, but like instead of school uniform, we can like dress up as however we like. So it was like one of the most anticipated like days. People, like students, were just like happy wearing like their favorite dresses at school, like all colorful dresses. And yeah, it's just like it's just reminding me of those days. It was like a different type of an excitement, like, oh wow, we're allowed to dress whatever. And every single student in the school would be like in different dresses. And yeah, wow, those were those days I remember with my friends. I'll talk about it later. Has all my measurements memorized? Yeah. Oh no. Oh, this is the anime. Oh, what the random ass. Bruh. She's ready. Oh boy. Hmm. Right. Yeah, I gave my bento away. Oh, wait. This is supposed to be. Oh, I w- okay, right. Hmm. Right. Oh, probably going to return her bento box. Hmm. Yeah, there you go. Damn. What? Oh. Oh, this is supposed to be Kaichova made summer. Okay, I just realized it. I thought it was supposed to be an Oran whole school, like that reference. It's a Kaichova made summer. Is it? It is like the whole. Okay, it is a mixture of Oran High School Host Club and Kaichova made summer in a way you could say. Like, because of the whole student council president being. Damn. Oh my god. Yeah. Damn. So this was the bento scene that they were talking about. Okay. Hmm. What? Smoogie. Damn. Damn. All right. All right. Hmm. Hmm. You should have. Oh yeah, the rose. Oh wait, that's an actual thing. I was not aware. I thought that was like, yeah, I thought like it was like spray painted or something. So these act naturally. They also exist. Hmm. Yeah. Past tense. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Trimmed differently from businesses. Ah. I was also not aware of this. Like they have like a very slim type of a. Um. Well, yeah. He makes dresses for you every single day. Hmm. Um. Ah. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Walk on it. Damn. The way she talks. Her Gyaru lingo is crazy. Oh boy. What? Yeah, has she ever done it before? Oh, yeah, I do remember she kind of did it, right? I think in the very first episode. Hmm. Interior design instruction of the outfit, practice drawing, grants back paint course. Right. Hmm. No, Gojo's here. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I think they expected, they were like, yeah, you don't have to do this because you're already, no, they're, yeah. I was thinking, I was like, they expect him to do both? Like, why? But there you go. So they were like, yeah, like you're going to do that, so you don't have to do this. Hmm. Yeah. Right. Well, obviously, yeah. And that's why mine has to do the whole thing alone. That's why. Now he can go and accompany Marin too. They ended up on, yeah. Hmm. Oh, whoa. What? Why? Oh. Oh, damn. Right. Yeah. Well. Hmm. Right. Hmm. No, wait. This is. I guess not. I was gonna say, wouldn't the school give a like a budget or something? But never mind. Probably not. Because it's like, yeah, okay. Okay. Hmm. And that was today's episode. All right, so today we had the school festival, right? Yeah, the school festival was announced, and they decided to do like a cross dressing, not a cross dressing, but yeah, cross dressing. Like like the boys will have to like, well, like girls dress, vice versa. So mine decided to make this cosplay of Rei Sama, right? That was the name of the character, and we get to know more about that anime, and we get to see how Gojo was thinking like, oh, I'll have to do like everything. I've got to go and help like the whole preparations, and then I'll have to do the dress. Now, while they were talking about it, I was thinking, I was like, okay, like, so I'm pretty sure he could like go and be like, oh, I'm like, since I'll be doing the dress, can I excuse myself from all the other stuff? And I was thinking like, that it was going to be that. But then Gojo was like, oh no, I'll have to go and do this. So I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe he will have to participate in the other stuff as well. But as we can see, everyone automatically expected him to be busy with the dress, not come here and help with the other stuff, because obviously, as everyone said, like making a dress in itself is such a big thing. Like, it's like literally they are putting everything on Gojo. Like, if the whole like festival is like, like the job in the whole festival is, if it is 100%, like you're technically like giving Gojo like 50% of the job, because that's how crazy it is making the dress. Like you're making a dress from scratch. So that's why, as you can see, everyone in the class were literally like, we feel bad that we are actually giving everything, like putting everything on you, like it's related to the dress, like like. But obviously none of us here in the in the class know anything about sewing, know anything about dressmaking, so we'd probably make more trouble for you, you know so if there's something that other than that you need, you can ask for help, because literally most of the thing you're going to do it, because making a dress is no joke. So they never expected Gojo to come and try to help them with the other stuff as well. They automatically assumed that, oh yeah, Gojo will be doing that, so we'll focus on that. So they, say that, tell that to Gojo, and they're like, obviously you don't have to do anything. And I was like, yeah, like, because I was also kind of surprised. I was like, okay, so he'll have to do the dress, he'll have to help the class as well. That's a bit too much, right? But yeah, that was just a misunderstanding, like, and there you go. That's what happened here. Um, so like, yeah, and you have to say, I have to say that this is obviously like the first time that Gojo is seeing that something that he likes, that he thought up until now, is something that like boys do not do, because of the whole non-chan situation. He was under the impression that, oh, you know what, this, like doing makeup, making dresses, these things, uh like if a boy does that, people are going to look in a different way towards them. So it is something that he felt awkward in, like bringing up in front of others. When mine, like, came into the whole equation, he obviously thought the same at the beginning, but then he realized like mine is different. So he was pretty, like open with mine about this whole, about all of these things. But still, there was a, like a barrier which he was putting in front of him and other people except Marin, because he thought that, oh yeah, mine is an exception, but everyone else, if I tell them that I do makeup, I do like dresses, I make dresses, they're not going to look like, they're going to probably like, like look at me weirdly. Mine is the only exception. That was in his head. So that also started little by little, like that part of him also started little by little understanding that, oh, not necessarily everyone is going to do that. After that episode within the karaoke, where he was asked that, oh wait, you do makeup of Marine, and when one of the guys were like, oh, it's fine, my brother also does makeup, it's nothing wrong, it's makeup, like anyone can do it. So like stuff like that. So that is where he realized that, oh wait a minute, so maybe not everyone is like that. And here finally in this episode you can see like after the fact that he makes dresses as well comes out, and when everyone was like pretty cool about it and pretty hyped about it, this is the episode where he realized that, right, like these things that I do, not everyone will be looking at me weirdly because I make dresses for girls or I like do makeup for girls. Like this is where he fully understood it. Like, yeah, Nonchan was an exception. Maybe there are other people like that as well who might look in a different way towards, look at me weirdly, tell me bad things about, you know, but those are very few people. Like most people do not really care, and a lot of people will probably be very impressed that I can do it. Like he realized that here in today's episode, like completely. So after realizing that, oh, you know what, people will accept me, the next thing that came to his head was like, I have to make sure I don't let these people down, because like these people, they know and they've accepted me, so I have to make sure that I do not, I provide, I do the things that I'm supposed to do, and I do not make any trouble for them, I don't let them down. So that's why he was thinking that, oh yeah, I have to do the dress, I have to go and help them out as well, make sure that I do my part. So that started coming up. So that is why he was like came in here and he was like ready to do, like help them up with the other stuff as well. But here everyone is like, no, you don't have to do it. Obviously, like we're letting you do the dress. That is literally 50% of the job. You're making a dress from scratch. We are just going to be helping and doing other stuff, like doing the preparations for the festival and all that. And there's like a whole class of students to do that, to share that work, to like help each other out and do it. So the job that we are doing, we can handle it. you know we feel bad that we are letting you do the whole dress, which is like so much job, and we cannot help you out with that. Like, so as soon as he realized that, he was like very happy, because not only, number one, not only did he realize that his what he likes, his hobby, like making dresses, like doing makeup and all these things, not only is that, did he realize that not only is that respected, and that is, all these people here, all these students in this class have accepted that and they are okay with it, they're pretty hyped up about it. Not only is that, but also the fact that I don't go have to go out of my way to make sure that, oh, like everything is going okay, like like I don't make anything, like I don't make it more difficult. Like I can be pretty open about my whole situation as well, that, oh, this is too much job, I cannot do it. So both the things are okay. Like, now, what, this is the thing, I feel like a lot of people will not understand this whole sentiment, that this, like feeling that, oh no, like I'm not able to, like I'm not able to live up to the expectations that they have put on me. You know, a lot of people might be like, oh no, he can just go and say, and he can just talk about it. He can just be frank and say that, oh, I cannot do so many things. Like, what's the problem in that? But the thing is, like, there's a lot of people, like, and especially people who have social anxiety, and people who have lived a life in a certain way, thinking that, oh, you know what, this is something that I do, other people will not accept it, let me keep hiding it. And finally, when that has come out, and when he realized that, oh, people has accepted it, he has this sense in his head where he's like, okay, they're already doing me, like, it's still like a thing, like, oh, they're doing me a favor and have accepted me. That's like the thought process. I'm 100% sure that is the thought process in Gojo's head. He's like, already he already has, like, like low self-esteem. So he's thinking like, oh, these guys are doing me a favor and they have accepted me, so I have to make sure that, like, they don't, like, I don't, like, do something that they don't like, or I have to make sure that they don't get disappointed in me. That kind of sense of duty you have inside of you. And that's why Gojo was trying to be like, oh, it's fine, I can do it. But they were like, no, even if you can do it, the question is, are you okay with it? Will it not be too difficult? That's the question. Yeah, you might be able to do it, but that's not the thing. The question is, are you comfortable in doing so much? Will it not be too difficult for you? That is the question. You know, so that is the thing. Like, like people who have low self-esteem and who are like always, like, who have like always like being within themselves, when they suddenly get accepted and like something, and then when they realize like, oh, you know what, this is okay, they have this thing where they think that, oh, like they are doing already doing so much for me, they're accepting me, I'm already indebted to them, so I have to make sure that everything is completely fine. you know so even if I am not being comfortable doing something, I will have to do it, because they're already doing so much by accepting me, that kind of thing. Like, like that is what happens. So I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people will probably not get this sentiment, and like, but this is an actual thing. That is what is going through Gojo's head. I can guarantee you this, because I don't know, that's just something, like, obviously, like, like, what can I say, like, I have never had any of these type of issues that much, but like being someone who is also socially kind of like, like kind of like, I wouldn't call myself socially awkward, but I am also not that much of an extrovert. Like, I'm in like the midway, so I can understand what goes through, like, like, people like this who are in these type of situations. I can understand what goes through their head and what they're thinking. So I can guarantee you this, that Gojo was thinking like, they're already doing me a favor, I have to make sure everything is okay, even if it means I am not, like, like sleeping, and even if it means I have to skip sleep, I have to, like work like 24 hours every day without, like, eating properly, I have to make sure everything is okay. That is probably what was going through his head, because he's thinking that they're doing me a favor by accepting me, like, so I have to do it perfectly. So that is why in the end you can see when he realized that, oh, you know what, no, it's fine, like I can be open about my situation as well, I can say truthfully that, you know what, this is too difficult, yeah, I cannot do this, like, let me just focus on my dressmaking. I can be honest about it. When he realized that everyone has accepted that, you know on top of, like, accepting his hobbies and everything, everyone else also accepted that part, he was very happy in the end. That is the reason why, where now, because now he's like, he has realized that he's, in the true sense, he has been accepted by everyone in the class, just like how mine has accepted him in the truest sense about everything. He realized that everyone in the class has also done the same, so it's a very happy thing for him, you can see. That's why he was so much beaming at the end, that kind of thing. um so yeah, that's basically the whole thing. That's the like part. I feel like a lot of these like things, like in anime especially, where people have, like, like low self-esteem and these type of situations, I feel like a lot of people probably don't understand it to the fullest extent, because to understand someone who has social anxiety, you have to be someone who has walked in those shoes. Because, like, being someone who's extroverted and who's just completely okay with everyone, chill with everyone, easily make friends, you cannot, I can guarantee you this, you will not be able to understand what it feels like to be someone who has social anxiety and who is, like, very awkward in talking to others. Like, yeah, you can imagine it, but it will not be the same. You will, because, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I, like, like, I remember, like, it was a long time ago, I don't remember when, but, back when, way before, when I didn't even do YouTube, obviously, like every other people, I also used to watch reaction, like anime reactions from, like videos on YouTube. I remember there was this one reaction video where, like, it also had like something like this, where this was there was like characters with social anxiety, and they were acting in a certain way. And I remember, like, the people who were reacting to it, they were clueless about what was going on. They were like, what, why, like, you can just talk, you can just say. And I'm like, no, that's the problem. You cannot. That is what it means to have social anxiety, and that is what it means to be socially awkward. You cannot talk. You cannot be that frank with others. Like, like that kind of thing. So yeah, this is probably something that goes above people's heads, a lot of people's heads, because they do not understand. Like, because like, it's understandable. People who are very vocal about their things and who are like, socially very okay, socially extroverted and everything, they will never have problem talking with others and letting their, like, thought process, like, telling everyone, be very frank about their own situation. But people who have social anxiety and who are like, kind of like this, they will never be able to do that. you know it's not that easy for them, and that is the whole point. Gojo here, however, I wouldn't really call him socially awkward, but his situation is a lot different. He was something that he liked as at a very young age, something that he liked and something that he thought that this was very normal. By some other person, it was put in his head that, oh, this is not okay, this is abnormal, this is weird, why do you do this? you know so automatically he made this like wall in front of him, where he tried to like hide his things, because obviously when you like something, you cannot just cut that off from your life that easily. If you really like something, if you like doing something, love doing something, even if someone tells you that, oh, what is that, that's so weird, you cannot just cut that off from your life because you love doing it. So what you do in that situation, you hide it. You hide it from the others. You make sure that nobody gets to know that, oh, you know what, I actually like this. This is such a common thing. People nowadays will not never understand this. This is the thing. This is how at least a lot of people like us lived our lives, because of anime, visual novel, these type of things. Anime and stuff were something that when you told people that, oh, I like watching anime, people would look weirdly at you. They would be like, oh, okay. They would think you're immature. They would think that I don't know, you're a kid. You still watch cartoons, So that was a thing. So this is something that I feel like, at least, like people like me who have been watching anime for so long would understand so very well, because anime was one of those things that you cannot tell other people. You try to talk about it to someone and they would look weirdly at you. So what you do, obviously you cannot cut off anime for your life, because you love that thing, you love watching it. What you do, you hide it. You hide it from everyone. You don't tell them that you watch anime. You act like like you cannot share that. So nowadays, where people are so openly talking about anime and they're like, like, oh, anime is like actually a cool thing, like, it is a different type of a feeling where you can actually tell other people and be like, oh, I watch anime, and you will not be judged about it. That is literally what this is. Like, that was the whole situation with Gojo as well. And any people who like do something but they realize that this is not the norm. People will look at me weirdly if I tell them that I do this, I watch this, I like, I this is my hobby, that kind of thing. So yeah, it is, like, so seeing that how everyone like accepted him in his class, Gojo realized, as soon as Gojo realized that, he was very happy. Like, it is like, when you find someone who's like, who like finally, after hiding the fact that you watch anime, you finally find that one person that also watches anime. That amount of joy that you feel, that is what happened here. Obviously, first it started with Marin, because mine was the only one. But now he has realized that every single person in this class, even if they do not do the same thing, they'll at least accept me and be like, all right, cool, you do this, cool, completely fine with it. They're not going to look at him weirdly and judge him for it, that kind of thing. So yeah, like I'm saying, like, people nowadays will never really understand what it was, and it was probably even worse way before when I started watching anime. I started watching anime like 11, 12 years ago. Back then, oh my god, you talk about anime to someone, they will look at you weirdly and they will be like, okay, so you watch cartoons. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, that's it. And I know at least here it was not that much. I know in probably other places and places like Japan, back then, anime like was such a thing that people not only judged you, but they also bullied you for it. As far as I know and remember, back in the days, that was an actual thing. Like, people would be like, especially kids in schools and everything, they would bully you because you watch anime. Like I said, that wasn't a thing here. At least in my place, that wasn't a thing. People would just look weirdly at you if you tell that you watch anime. That was the extent to it. But in other places like Japan, probably, yeah, they would probably actively bully you, you know, and that kind of thing. So yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, people will never understand that, like what it was back then. Good God. Now it's cool to watch anime. Oh, you watch this? Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm like, wow. how how much time has passed? Like, good lord, that nowadays it's actually cool to watch anime. Oh boy. Same thing with video games as well. Like, good lord, things are getting more and more acceptable. And I'm so glad about it. Like, good god, now I don't have to hide the fact that I watch anime or play video games. And I can actually get a few like minded people who I can discuss about it. Okay, anyways, I went on a whole tangent. But yeah, that was what I was trying to say about Gojo. Like, that is what it felt like for him. Like, oh, finally, I've been accepted. You know. Right. Now, a few other things to talk about in this episode. For example, I didn't realize the whole story, the anime, the what was the name of the anime? The student council is a host or something. The student council president is the number one host. You know that one. So I didn't realize at the beginning that the main character, obviously the main character is that little girl. The other main character, Rei-sama, I didn't realize that is supposed to be a, like a girl. I guess I probably missed this part. The lead actress is the most popular because she's got here is hilarious. Like, yeah, they kind of mention here that the lead actress, um, right, for Rei-sama, Miko cuts off her famous long hair. So I don't know. I didn't realize. So even in the source material, the main character is a girl, but she goes and like dresses up as a host, and like do the okay. So yeah, that part. So at first I thought that like in that section when they were showing us that anime, I thought that was a dude. The the blonde haired girl. But yeah, he was she was cross dressing as a guy because he was doing the host club thing. And later on we get to know that, oh, like this is actually one of the girls in this school. And yeah, and that is where, so this anime, it has a very interesting premise if you think about it. So basically, okay, the student council president at our all girls high school, Rei Kogami sama, so Rei sama they call her. um and then when they give us the intro of the show, where is that section? Okay, here it is. I realized how much of a different how much different it is than I thought it is. So here's the whole premise. Rei-san, the student council president who everyone admires, is actually Rei, the number one host at Rainbow Rose Host Club. Okay, makes sense. Then we have these, obviously, this plethora of actual, like, male characters who are like actual like guys. But Rei is supposed to be a girl cross-dressing as a guy, and she's supposed to be like the main love interest of the girl, right? And then we have the other dudes as well. So it is, I don't know what to say, it is a very like a different setting than all the other. Usually what it, like, they kind of focus on only one thing. If it's like a girl, they would make all the other characters girls as well, and it will be like a yuri, not a yuri, but a shoujo ai type of a manga. But here we have like, not only, like, obviously the main character is a girl and the main love interest is also a girl, but then we have these guys as well who are like the side characters. So this really, that's a little bit of a like a curveball, I would say, because a lot of animes and mangas do not really have this. That is why I have to say, like, another show really interested me because of that curveball. That show, what was the name? The otome game one, the Katarina Bakarina, that show, because it, like, it had like a plethora of characters, like, male female both, who really like the main characters. So I feel like that was like one of the first times something like that was done, in like a harem type show. So this is also kind of like that, but the main focus is obviously on the two main characters who are both girls. And this obviously Ray is supposed to be someone who like dresses up as a boy and the whole host club thing, like that. Now, at first I was thinking this is supposed to be like an Oran High School host club type of thing, but then when it was revealed that the girl is supposed to be like a student council president, and she in her part time she kind of like does this host club thing. I was like, wait, isn't this supposed to be Kaijo wa Maid Sama? But at the end of the day, if you think about it, this anime has both elements to it. It has the whole Oran High School host club situation, but at the same time, it also has the whole Kaicho wa Maid Sama kind of setting as well. Because obviously, if you've seen Kaicho wa Maid Sama, you'll know the main character. What was her name? Misaki, I think. She was the student council president, right? Wait a minute. Yeah, Kaicho wa Maid Sama. Yeah, she was the student council president. She also was a maid, did, in a maid cafe. And obviously the main dude, what was his name? Usui Takumi, I think. Yeah, he like found that out, and he decided to keep it a secret. But obviously, there was like a lot of like shenanigans going on between the two main characters. Usui used to like tease her, and all that stuff. Yeah, like Kaijo wa Maid Sama was probably one of the only shoujo animes that I really liked. I don't like shoujo animes at all. Unnecessary drama and unnecessary nonsense. I hate it. But I don't know why. It's probably the main two characters. Usui, I liked both Usui and Misaki. That's probably why I really liked Kaicho wa Maid Sama. One of the only shoujo mangas slash animes that I actually really liked, and I really enjoyed reading slash watching. Um, and so yeah, so it is like it is kind of like that in a way. It's like a mixture of both of those. So it's pretty interesting, the whole setting to it. And then obviously we have Rei Sama as here, and then we also have the whole that girl which they introduced, the supposed to be the rival of Rei Sama, but she also kind of helps her out from the shadows, like that. Those things they kind of explain, and Gojo and Mine were kind of talking about it. They were kind of like discussing about it, when it happens, when both of you watch the same anime, you talk to each other about it, you share your opinions about certain situations and everything. Yeah, they were talking about all of that. So yeah, that part was pretty cool. I said this in the previous episode as well. I always appreciate how this show, not only obviously it just doesn't do the cosplay, it also gives us like a background information about the anime slash manga, the characters that they're cosplaying. They kind of give like a little bit of a synopsis and a little bit of a like a little bit of they kind of show us about what the anime is about and all that, and give us context to it. So I really appreciate that. I don't know, it makes the cosplay more fleshed out. When you get to know the characters in the show, you will also be able to connect to the characters, and that is why like Gojo also watches the animes that Mine is supposed to be cosplaying about. He also watches it to gain a more deeper connection to the characters and properly make the dress. So I appreciate how they also let us, the audience, also give us a little bit of context to the characters that Mine is cosplaying as well. um you know so yeah, so that part was really good. I really liked that section where they gave us the context to the anime. Right. Other than that, obviously, the rest of the episode was basically them, like talking about how, like Gojo saying that, oh, I have to go and do this, so maybe I won't be able to accompany you to buy the stuff. So no, no, sorry, Gojo didn't say that. Gojo said that I don't know how I'll be able to complete it. Like I might be very much like packed because I have to go and help the festival, obviously the preparations to it, and I also have to make the dress, go with you and buy the raw materials, the different stuff. So this is when mine was like, okay, you know what? Let me do it. Let me do that part at least. I can help you out with that. Obviously, mine was very obvious because mine hasn't really done any type of shopping because she's not the one who does the saving and everything. So she she doesn't know what to like do and how to buy the different raw materials. And yeah, so but she was still like, no, you know what, it's fine, you give me the list, I'll go and give it to that guy, that old man who, who helped us out in the previous episode. I'm going to go and give it to him, and hopefully he helps me out with the stuff. So he was she was ready to take a little bit of the that on her, you know on her plate, and do it, and to help out Gojo. But then when Gojo went to class and everyone was like, wait, what are you doing here? Like, you're not going to be doing this. uh, Focus on your dressmaking. That is obviously way, way, way more difficult. And you can see like everyone was like, oh, you don't have to do this. And Gojo was like, oh no, it's fine, I can do it. And one of the guys were like, oh, you can do it, okay, that's fine. The other guy, the blonde haired guy, was like, shut up. Like, and he was like, okay, yeah, okay, fine, you can do it, but the question is, are you comfortable doing it? Like, is it not going to be too difficult on you? Like, so that is the question. So this is where Gojo was like, yeah, it will be a little bit, and he was like, yeah, so there you go. So you focus on your dressmaking. And he said, like, like, this guy, like, tell him everything like straight. If you try, if you try to, like, like, here obviously Gojo was trying to be polite here, and he was like, don't do that to this guy. At least he'll take your what you say at face value. So he's an idiot, so he won't be able to understand subtleties, or like, he won't be able to pick up on, like, this stuff. So just tell him whatever you want to directly. It won't, otherwise it won't work on him. But anyways, yeah, everyone was like, in the class was like, you do your thing, because making a dress is crazy. The fact that we cannot help you out in that process is making us feel guilty, because that's like literally half of the job that we are putting on one person. So yeah, and they also freaked out when they realized that mine actually went alone to do the shopping, and they're like, oh no, go immediately. She's gonna die. She's gonna buy unnecessary stuff, and yeah, it won't work out. So be sure to go there and supervise her. Oh boy. Right. And yeah, and that, there you go. That is why in the end Gojo was very happy. Like I said, he was happy about the fact that not only did everyone accept her, but the fact that he can be honest about whether, about his own feelings. If he finds something difficult, he do not have to like suck it up and still do it regardless. He can be honest and be like, oh, this is difficult. you know like, that really made him happy, and you know that kind of thing. And yeah, and there you go, that was today's episode. And like I said, good thing that everyone in the class now kind of knows that Gojo doesn't mind like dresses and everything. And on top of that, everyone has like kind of accepted him. So there's no like, I don't know, like secretly doing this, like none of that. Gojo can be like free about it and can be like open about it with everyone, at least in his class. You know, like, so yeah, there you go. Right. And yeah, and that was today's episode. So let's see how this school festival, or this whole thing goes. Obviously they're doing like a competition, so like there will be like winners and losers in it. So not only are they like, like the whole class is like obviously doing their own thing, but the whole beauty pageant, that's why mine needs that dress. So the whole beauty pageant is also going to bring them score. So whoever wins the whole thing, whichever class wins the whole thing, like obviously they're going to win it. And yeah, and yeah, this is, it's kind of nostalgic. Like I said, like obviously in my school as well, we used to have like sports competition and these type of stuff as well. Like like cultural festival, maybe like some stuff like that. And when those used to happen, obviously I remember like we obviously had individually, we had to do different stuff. Like if it was like a sports festival, there was like a common group thing that you have to participate, and then there was other stuff where you can individually participate. and then obviously do the other stuff like making decorations, decorating the classroom, all that stuff. For that, you obviously you had to, like, I remember, like, um as soon as these like cultural festivals or sports festivals, these type of things started, we used to have like a long amount of time where there were no classes, no studying. We used to go to school and we used to just start getting ready for these. We used to like prepare for these different things. uh, if someone is doing like a particular thing, they used to go and like rehearse for that. Other people used to like make like decorations for the classroom, and maybe help in other ways, and all those things. And what else? Yeah, and it was like a time when everyone used to come to school, and it was so fun. Like, obviously, otherwise it was obviously coming to school was like boring as, oh, sit down, do your studies and everything. It was still fun because I remember like our school was actually pretty good in that sense, because we had a lot of freedom. We had like big fields where we could just play. I remember going to school and like going to school, playing in the fields, studying. If there was some kind of sports period, we used to do sports, play again. In the recess we used to play. After school ends we used to play. Like, it was crazy. Like a lot of friends, like playing football, cricket and all that. So in that sense, our school already was kind of like like very free in that sense. So on top of that, when it was like actual like cultural festivals or sports festival, I remember everyone, like most people used to come into school because they were just excited, like doing these things and getting ready. And there were no studies. Everyone used to come and just do these things, and no classes used to happen. And like, yeah, it was just a different vibe. And obviously on the day of the sports festival and everything, or cultural festival, parents used to come, sit down. They used to see, like, they used to snap pictures, like record videos and all, and we used to do our thing. Like, yeah, it is very similar to what we see in anime. Like, that's exactly what used to happen, a lot of the things. So yeah, these, like, whenever, like, in any animes they like bring out these cultural festivals and they show like the process of how they're doing it, it really makes me nostalgic. Not only this show, like any type of show, any type of anime where there's a cultural festival or whatever, and they show like the process of how it's happening, it just makes me nostalgic about like my own school. Anyways, so yeah, I'll end it here. So that is it. That was my reaction to episode number 4 of my Dress Up Darling season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of this show. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.